Pakistan-China friendship cannot be put into words because we share mountains, we share rivers, we share a lot of common heritage, a lot of culture. Because when these rivers flow downstream towards Pakistan from China, they bring a message of hope, a message of resilience, and a message of a shared and prosperous future. And while growing up, I often quote this story that, my mother as a young schoolgirl welcomed Chun Lai in the streets of Islamabad, and she waved the Pakistani and the Chinese flag. So when we hear these stories of this relationship, it not only reminds us that it is a time-tested friendship, but it is also an everlasting friendship. Many countries have this claim of having strategic ties with China, of having a great relationship, but no other country can claim that they are iron brothers or sisters. Only Pakistan has that particular privilege. So we are proud to have that privilege, Honorable Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. And I think in 2015, we laid a new foundation in this country known as the Pakistan-China Economic Corridor. And this corridor brought about a cultural change, where we had investments coming in, where we had infrastructure being built, where we had industry being built, where we had airports and seaports being developed. We also saw a cultural change in Pakistan. And it's always heartening when we see a Chinese citizen speaking fluent Urdu, or we see a Pakistani citizen speaking fluent Chinese. When Mustafa here speaks Chinese, if you close your eyes for 1 second, you cannot even tell that a Pakistani is speaking Chinese in the pure Chinese dialect and accent. This is a cultural change which CPEC has brought about. CPEC in Pakistan has broken a lot of barriers. It has broken the barrier of language, and it has broken the barriers of division. It has brought harmony. So the Belt and Road Initiative and CPEC being part of it, where it has brought development, where it has built roads and bridges and ports and industry, it has also built the everlasting bridge of friendship. And this cultural change that we see has now become part of our ethos as we move forward. And we were proud to have witnessed the first phase of CPEC and the visit of President Xi Jinping at that point in time will always be remembered as a turning point and as one of the greatest initiatives taken for the revival of our economy. And that visit brought along with it not only the economic benefits which we are reaping today, but also great opportunities for every segment of society in Pakistan. Be it the youth of Pakistan, be it the media of Pakistan, be it the industry of Pakistan. It created employment. And CPEC has only a positive connotation towards it. And as a Pakistani, I believe that when we talk about CPEC, only positivity can be associated with it. When we look at the digital age, and as Information Minister, I've developed Pakistan's first digital communication department. Why? Because there was no digital footprint. I had to change the rules of business and come up with the first digital communication department. Because the government of Pakistan believed for effective communication, there has to be a digital footprint, there has to be a digital segment. We are moving towards evolution. We've come up with the Digital Pakistan TV as an English STATCOM tool, which is now on the rise. Our viewership is growing, our outreach is growing. And it was my utmost duty to come up with these platforms, because this is not for me, not for my political party. But this is for the state of Pakistan. That whoever becomes information minister after me should have a robust system available to him or her which can be used as a strategic communication tool to further the state's interests. During the war with India, we saw a lot of misinformation coming in. But that misinformation brought along with it a lot of comic relief as well. So when the Indian media destroyed the port of Lahore or the port of Multan, we really enjoyed that misinformation. And one of my young members, I have a team of Gen Z around me, because this generation, and I often say that, our world is divided into two kinds of people. We have the digital natives and the digital immigrants. So the success of countering misinformation lies in bringing these two communities together. People who are born into technology and people who have adapted technology. And to counter misinformation, we are playing our role. And one of the youngsters came to me during this time and he said, there's a lot of misinformation from the Indian media and they're acting very irresponsibly. And they've banned our YouTube channels in India. And I would like to admire the efforts of our media. Pakistani media acted very, very responsibly. And we were able to fight the narrative war on the international front because our domestic front was in safe hands. So one of the youngsters came up to me and he said, what we can do is, they've banned our YouTube channels, we can air our content on their YouTube channels. And we came up with an innovation and we were able to successfully load that content within the geographical boundaries of India. Why I've quoted this particular incident is because technology is changing. The art of narrative making is changing. And if you don't change with time, time will change you. And when leaders at the World Economic Forum were asked, which is the biggest challenge of our age, they did not say climate change. They did not say nuclear war. They said misinformation is the biggest challenge of our age. So when I hear some of our naive friends talk about CPEC in a negative connotation, I can only say that they don't know the entire truth. And it is our job to make the world aware of what CPEC stands for. As I said, nothing negative can be associated with this. So, in order to get meaningful engagement and to further strengthen the media cooperation for which we are gathered here today, I will make a few proposals. But you see, CPEC is something which has brought about great harmony between our two countries. And the birth of CPEC 2.0 is a byproduct of CPEC 1, because CPEC 1 was launched successfully, which was mainly focused on G2G agreements, which is a success story in itself, starting from the establishment of the Gwadar seaport. And last year when Premier Lee was here, we inaugurated the Gwadar airport. These are just few examples of the benefits that we have reaped through CPEC 1. So moving forward, the advent of CPEC 2.0, which is mainly focused on B2B agreements and in empowering the business community, the industrialists in this country, that they can further enhance their capacity and can further build on this friendship of Pakistan-China. I think CPEC 2.0 is a great example that when you have success in the public sector, it can lead to success in the business sector. And this time around when we were in China, two important events that we attended. And as Senator Mushahid Hassan Saeed also mentioned and Dr. Shazra also mentioned, in September, the victory day against fascism in World War II, we witnessed the victory parade in China, and we saw the kind of capacity that China has and the desire for peace which China has. So congratulations on that. And next year, we will be celebrating 75 years of our diplomatic relations and friendship. And we are fully geared up for this 75-year celebration. And next year marks a very important milestone in our friendship. And in that year, I think we need to have a separate segment for media as well. We need to have more exchanges with regard to journalists, anchor persons, and also digital media influencers, which is very, very important. And during the war, I would like to mention, and I was in China, and I mentioned this to the head of the radio and television division. I said that meme created by Chinese influencers in which they had these planes flying all around, that was the most watched meme, and it got billion+ views the world over. So this is the kind of power that digital media has. So we need to also strengthen the cooperation where we can have influencers in the digital realm coming from China to Pakistan and from Pakistan to China. So we need to move towards the digital realm also in order to strengthen our media cooperation. As CPEC 2.0 now focuses on B2B agreements, I think it will be befitting to involve the companies which are engaged in these agreements. And when we were in China, the second achievement that we had was that MOUs and agreements were signed worth $8.5 billion. So we need to involve the private sector also to tell their stories, how they have benefited from CPEC 2.0. I think we need to go into a public-private partnership mode in order to tell the good story of CPEC 2.0. Coupled with that, I have a few submissions for your kind consideration with regard to countering fake news and misinformation. I would suggest that maybe the Pakistan-China Institute can come up with a digital media platform to call out fake news and to label fake news circulating around CPEC as fake news and stating the correct facts. Maybe a fact-check forum can be created, which the government can support fully, which can be supported by the Chinese embassy, and Pakistan-China Institute can host that platform because it is a credible institute and it has the trust of the public and the private sector. So maybe if we can launch a fact-check forum with regard to CPEC, with regard to Pakistan-China cooperation, I think that will go a long way in not only strengthening the media cooperation, but also in getting rid of misinformation and stating the correct facts very, very timely. So if the Honorable Ambassador agrees, and if Senator Mushaid Hussain Sayyid agrees to this proposal, we can work out the details in a smaller meeting and launch a fact-check forum, because I think it is the need of the hour that we need to have a fact-check forum. I'm very, very grateful. So this will, I think, help us in countering fake news and also strengthening the good stories that are coming out of CPEC 2.0. And there's great potential in CPEC 2.0, and I accompanied our Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif to Beijing earlier in September. And the sentiment that we saw in China with regard to Pakistan, I think our friendship has reached new heights, and it is now up to us to tell these stories to the world. And we have a very good story to tell because we have a great history, a great legacy. And when we see our legacy that our elders have left behind, one particular image comes to mind. the last meeting of Chairman Mao with the then Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, it's a very, very historic meeting, a very touching picture which is now part of our legacy. So this great history has given us more motivation for a shared and a prosperous future. So I think we need to carry this great legacy forward, and we need to strengthen media cooperation, especially in the digital field, and we need to have more digital platforms to tell stories from both sides, from China, from Pakistan, and we need to have more